Alexander, so I'm giving the floor, I'm giving the mic to him.
Они сейчас говорят, я просто не буду давать, все такое, это ничего не нужно. So, I'd like to say the following. One of the specialities of society is about, cunningness. It's about manifestation of cunningness. So I would like to tell you, as for the students of Kailas, the following. If you manifest cunningness, then sooner or later it will create conditions for vendetta, a revenge. So any sort of cunningness, whether it is conscious or not, maybe you played some cunning things with the rich or with the poor or with the worker, you must know that if you consider yourself to be the smartest person, well, I congratulate you. In the future, you will be responsible for that, or maybe your children or something else. Why? Because cunningness is one of the deadly sins in my school. I believe that the person who is without cunningness has more potential to be happy. What is cunningness? Cunningness is when a person believes other person to be idiot or stupid, and the other person closes his or her eyes, and allows that other person. Well, maybe you haven't understood, because we are living in society with high education, and at the time when people think that someone does not understand something, it's that person who's not acting smart. So the attitude can be different, maybe tolerant or not tolerant. So what I can tell you is the following. Any sort of this thing, any cunningness, will sooner or later be punished. So if for you this is still a manifestation, this is still your motto, please wrap it up, end with it. So can a person earn a lot of money without cunningness? Yes, for example, me. And can I consider myself the one, like a role model for others? Yes. And I can say that I'm a person without cunningness. I've been doing this for whole my life. The thing is that I have one peculiarity. When there is something I do not like, I do the following. I come and say, I believe that you are playing, you're cunning with me. And the other person says, well, okay, no, what about the proofs or anything? Well, it's my business. I don't want any proofs. Life based on the principle do not blame anyone is very convenient life. So today I would like to dedicate our lesson to esoterics. Concrete, very understandable. So let's begin with the following. I want to give you, charging of items, creating of artifacts, codes for any sorts of life. I will choose what to begin with. Then creating pendulum. Also, I will give you codes that are called codes to develop supernatural abilities. They are excellent. I will also give you mantras, and I will also give you I will also tell you why a person from time to time needs to read codes or read mantras. We people are not happy, most of us. Why? Because the world is such that unfortunately it's impossible to speak to all the people in the street. We feel shy, something does not go right. So when we shy away from people, when we get offended, or when we stop communicating with people, we speak maybe a little bit in our minds, or we speak somewhere in the computer, and so on and so forth. So you could just imagine, very often we'll lose this ability to communicate. We'll lose this ability to speak. Just imagine students of a school come to me, try to say something, and they can't. Because, well, they just mumble certain things. In other words, a person cannot pronounce certain words, cannot speak freely. Why? Because if a person does not practice speaking, if he does not pronounce words, if he's silent, if he's contemplating, and so on and so forth, then there is a risk for him to lose the ability to speak. Can you imagine that? So this is one peculiarity. Why am I saying you this? Repeating mantras, I was eating, I was sleeping and meditating, doing certain meditations. After that, my speech function changed, and for the next 6 months, I learned how to speak. Really, for me, I was shocked. When you just want to say something, but you can't. Why? You just stop speaking. You can't speak because you become idle. And when I finished that, I started having some sort of defects in my speech, and it took me a very long time to learn how to communicate. Can you imagine that? And just usual children, when they're 2 or 3 months old, they start practicing. They are preparing themselves to speak, and basically they master this speech apparatus by the age of 2 or 3 or maybe 6 years. So their speech may not be perfect, but they are practicing. They're practicing their mouths for entire 5 years. Then naturally, when a person uses that, he believes that it's forever and it's very easy. No, it's not true. You can stop speaking, and after that, you may become silent. Well, proofs. I have a number of psychologically ill patients who, after they have been treated with schizophrenia and depressive states, after that, their speech was damaged forever, and they never learned how to speak. So they were either lip-syncing, or they stuttered, or they were using some sort of parasite words, so to say. And basically, they didn't learn how to speak properly in the future. So why am I telling you this? When you're reading mantras, you're not just reading mantras. You're also practicing your speech. If your mouth is practiced, then also the brain is practiced. Can you believe it? Actually, the persons who speak more, basically their synaptics links work better. So you must not you must not tell the child to be silent when he starts speaking, because this means that he will become smart. Well, actually, you might worry when he's not speaking, when he's not pronouncing 250 words per minute. That's what you should be afraid of. So it's a good thing if he speaks. So when a person learns or starts to read mantra, that's what happens. By the way, how did mantras appear? In my opinion, most mantras, rare mantras, who were given in Buddhism or in Judaism or in any religion, most of these mantras do not have a direct translation. In other words, it is not composite Russian words that are united. These are the words that are united, but most often they do not have any sort of translation. Remember, I told you at the very beginning how code appeared. Well, I started paying attention to the fact that Masha was ill, and I started to pronounce the syllable. And after pronouncing this, I noticed that I myself felt ill. And in the future, I started researching the systematic codes and do the following. For example, a person has been elected president of some country. I tried to see what his energy cocoon manifested, or what sort of noise appears in his energy cocoon at what moment of joy, etc. Thus, I started to viewing children who came to Easter and sort of left Easter. Thank God I had the internet, and it wasn't necessary for me to watch, to look for people. So I watched the Olympics, and after the award, I basically looked at people. I saw what code around them manifested after people won something. And basically, I started creating a library of codes. And when I started connecting these codes, I started receiving these mantras. And in most cases, these mantras, they resemble those ancient mantras which I mentioned. Thus, I can say that I did not invent anything. I just found what people found previously. It's just that that textbook, which was called the Book of Magic, the textbook of magic was lost, although I doubt it. I doubt it. Why do I doubt it? When I was in Rome, when I was in Milan, where else did I see it? Mexico City, Delhi. I noticed words which were written in the codes that I knew already. For example, I saw codes near Gurudeva. This is a woman with red eyes. So there were words written in Sanskrit that said Dodahi. After that, I did not understand what they meant. I know what it meant. It meant to do something so that a person would not, wouldn't get into trouble, so that he wouldn't have any problems and did not go to court. You know, I saw when a person was guilty and he was let free in the courtroom. Basically, I was following that person. I was trying to look for that code, and I heard this code. In other words, the godly energy turned on this code, creating vibrations around this person. I believe that vibrations, if you tune in a certain way, the person can hear them. And I believe this is one of the peculiarities of some unique people who probably have some sort of special hearing. And these people can notice these codes, can hear these codes. For example, when a person is oncologically ill, or when a person is ill, or when he's healthy, or when he has some eye problems, or he has some difficult diseases, not very often I'm able to see these codes or hear these codes, but very often I can basically predict what a person expects. So what happens when a person reads out codes? While you're reading codes, you can just read them as you sit. For example, just enter the code Doda Hi. Doda, breathing in, and Hi while breathing out. Doda Hi. Doda Hi. Excuse me. When you move from back to front, then the quality of code increases. Why? Just imagine when I pronounce these codes Dodahi, and did it while breathing, the code enters my breathing. And when I rock to and forth, and when I walk and when my body walks, then this code as pump works as a pump. It works the whole day. So if you have tuned to this code and you have read this code, then this code will work with you the whole day. This does not happen with mantra. Mantra does not work this way. So if you select between mantra and codes, then codes work better. And why is it necessary to use both the codes and curses? Because curses is the continuation, is the linkage of codes. It's some sort of a recipe. It's not potatoes or just soup, but this is some sort of a ready-made meal, like borscht, for example. When an incantation appeared, when I read out an incantation, then the following effect takes place. So basically, it changes the attitude of God to you, and it changes your fate. And the advantage here is that when we do the code, it affects our fate, the inner world, the external relationships to us, and it works the whole day. But we do not develop our articulation. And when a person reads an incantation, then his articulation becomes better, his concentration, his memory become better. So that is why I have chosen this method for myself. I do the codes, and I have also selected 1 or 2 incantations, and when I have time, I read out the incantations as well, okay? I also want to tell you this. Well, you may say that it'll be not enough for what you received at the first stage, and would like even more. This is a natural state, because a person always has an energy and physical hunger. You know, maybe more, I want a bit more. So a person wants something additional. He cannot receive this additional. In other words, he feels that he's restricted in information. After that, search begins. If you start searching, this is the right thing. It means that it is time for you to continue with the next stage. If it is not possible for you to go to the next stage, well, you must not search for anything. So what can you do? You can buy incantations, choose the incantations which you like, or buy books that are created with symbols. In our school, there is so much esoterics that you are free to select and use. But I would also like to warn you against the following. Learn from people who know what they're doing, because you may learn from the people who do not know what they're doing. And as a result, they do not feel responsible for anything that will happen. So thus, students of the school start learning something, and sometimes they fail. Why? Because they move deeper, they try to learn something deeper, the concept changes, a large number of information appears that interferes with your information that you already have, and it creates some sort of very strange labels, and it ends with nothing. So a woman came up to me and said, Andrei Andreevich, I attended your first stage. I did the ritual, go rain, go forever, go away forever. Nothing, everything failed. So the people who came to me, they all left away. So probably esoterics is not the right thing for me. So what's her mistake? Her mistake is that she did not hear the concept of psychical or psychological energy. I told you that this is the most important thing. So she lacks this psychological or psychic energy. So she must accumulate it. And how does one accumulate it? When a person accumulates it, when he feels the sensations, the conditions of joy and amazement, the unique method I gave you yesterday. This is the most unique method in the whole of esoterics. You don't need to learn esoterics further if you know this one method. But thing is that if we cannot look into other methods, then we may stop in our development. But we basically must develop. Remember the method I told you about yesterday. For example, if a mother starts feeling some warmth towards his child, and after that she says, my son is the most beautiful, and wherever he comes, he is always accepted to work, and everyone treats him well, and there is always food on his table, and he has good relationship with girls. This is called a ritual of tuning a person's fate. In the same way, you can ask a mother, for example, something is good and other is good, or so basically, you may say a lot of things, but this will be magic. And how do you use it for yourself? You just sit down, and after that, okay, I will tune business for my husband. How? My husband is like a hairy rabbit, so to say, and your hands and legs are beautiful, and everyone likes you, except the women are the same as I am. But basically, everyone who does not see you as a man, everyone likes you. So all the doors are open for you, and everything succeeds for you. Well done. And if he starts using some tools, he will succeed in it. Or if he wants to hammer a nail, everything succeeds. So you see? So basically you program that person. That's what you get. But the most scary thing here is that the advanced technique is when you do it for yourself. How? You are your own mother. So you just imagine yourself that you're your own mother. And you can just say, hey, my hands are small and everything is good and my hair is beautiful. And of course, everyone will like this hair. And wherever I go, all the doors will be open. So basically, you can come up with anything, and any man will look at you and fall in love with you. Well, and what you can do, those people who love you, who fall in love with you, they will give you presents. Well, you can come up with anything. You can imagine anything. So do you understand how it works? You do it for yourself. So clever, and whatever you eat, whatever she eats, she will get fitter, and she's healthy. How strong she is. She has found inner strength. This is how you must work with yourself. And in the morning, you start thinking different things. So when you finish 7 things, how are you? Just go away. What about you? Terrible. Why? And actually, you need to deal with that. So you start asking a lot of negative things. So a person says, the most important concept of esoterics is hiding behind one word, growing spirituality of a person through the state of kindness. The man who was here today showed me something. I told them, you may open any book by Dalai Lama or anyone else, and after that, we can analyze those specific words that the person uses. So, for example, Dalai Lama was asked the question. This question was like this: how to get rid of anger quickly. After that, Dalai Lama started laughing. He started pushing the person beside him. After that, he started rubbing. He started, working with glasses. Basically, he does not know the answer for this question. That means that he needs to come up with an answer. So he came up with a story. He started saying, well, previously I had my own driver, my own car, which was left for me, and also my servants, and these bad servants knocked their head on the hammer, and they said, and after they kept hammering their heads against the hammer and saying, what they did. In other words, this spiritual being came up with a story with accusations of a person who felt sick, who felt hurt. So he did not know an exact answer for the question, so he wanted to gain some time. He scratched himself and was doing all these things. And after that, he asked the question, just think, how did the person cause this anger? What will be the result of this anger? And the answer was, once you have done that, you will understand why. And the conclusion, when you have fear, you have anger. But the question was totally different. The question was, what is the method of overcoming anger? And the question, the final answer, was, if there is fear, there is anger. Okay. Then he said about the cause of this relationship. What about the method itself? He did not mention the method. The conclusion, he does not know about it. So for him, it's difficult to overcome anger. So we often hear why and how this happened, but nobody says how to remove something. So for an esoteric person, it is more important how than because of what or why. And the following thing you can write down. When you start having question why or what for, you just cross them out and Just answer how you will be dealing with that, how you will be solving that. This is the concept. There is a very good proverb called to live a life is not to walk across the field or not to swim across the river. If my students knew my black side, my dark sides that I had in my younger years, and if I kept returning to my dark sides, even in my memories, then I wouldn't be here sitting in this chair. Why am I telling you this? Because I forget them. I do not come back to them. And if I forget them, that means they did not happen. That is why I tell you, my friends, do not remember this. Do not feel sorry for something. Just live. You don't need to remember, no need to feel sorry. Just live. Life is the only thing that can give a person joy and calmness. Not the memories, not the illusions, but true life. You must not remember, you must not search for the reasons. Just stop doing that. Just live. Just live. No need to look, to search for this. Like, who needed that, or what was the reason for that? That was not important. Just live and be joyful. Then you will have another chance to be a happy person. Because when a person starts looking to ask forgiveness, in this case, it'll be a total gestalt, so to say, to him. And in order for bad things not to happen, so if Lama Rinpoche did not answer the question how to get rid of evil, do we know how to get rid of evil? I would say this: if there is something that is causing evil in you, makes you manifest this evil in you, so find this characteristic that is being manifested and just send it away. Tell it to go away. You know, it's simple, but it's very effective. Have you tried this method? Yes. So what will we start with today? With codes. I recommend using them. So I would like to give you codes with certain practice. So let's write down the following: several occult methods of gaining well-being. We need that, right? Method number 1. Imagine that on the left hand, on your left shoulder, there is a ball with with basically approximately half of your head, so the size of the crystal ball that I have on my table. Let me find it. So imagine this size. Imagine it fiery. Imagine a fiery ball on your shoulder. So when I breathe in and when I breathe out, I imagine something that is written on this golden ball. Ehe. And if I imagine this ball with this label Ehe, then most likely I will be able to get a reward. I will be lucky. I may win a lottery. So, how to win a lottery? Let me tell you what to do with this ehe. So I breathe in and do this ehe, ehe, ehe. Breathe in, ehe. Breathe out, ehe. So how many times do I do it? If I want to win, I do it 108 times. Why 108 times? 108 times is a total change of a human life. So 9 months affect the change of a human being, multiplied by 12 planets of influence, which influence the life of a person. So if you multiply 9 planets of influence, 9 months on 12 planets of influence, then you will get 108 situations. And if I read it out for 108 times, then all the 108 situations that may lead to me winning, they will be manifested. Do you see how it works? So all these 108 cases, all this will be manifested in this way. It will manifest it with the signs of influence of planets, and these things will be manifested, and basically they will help you achieve it. How fast? Usually quickly. Another thing I wanted to mention to you. How to win a lottery. So what needs to be done? For example, you have many numbers, like 64 numbers in lottery. The first thing that you do is you write down the numbers, which in your case would result in 100% winning. So how many numbers do you put? 7. Then you find a second person. You ask him to do the same thing, so that he could write down 100% winning numbers. And you find the third person who will select those that remained, 100% remaining, and the fourth, and you do it until you just have the remaining 7 letters. So let me explain to you once again. So I have 64 numbers in total. So I just say I select the numbers that are 100% winning. Then I give to Sveta, another person, and say the numbers that are not crossed out. Select if and select them. If a person believes that I have already selected a lucky number, then the person will never be crossed out. They will always remain. Why do they remain? I have 10 ducks running. Who will be left when I start shooting them? The happiest ones. The happiest ones. The same thing with the numbers. Only the happiest ones will win. You know, it's quite on the contrary. And if it wasn't on the contrary, then of course everyone would win. Is it possible to win this way? Among all the letters that will remain, actually the majority of them, as a rule, they become winning letters. We had an experience. We were winning lotteries. We had this experiment. Yes, this experience works. It works for the people, for like small companies, but it does not work for state lotteries. Thing is that state lotteries or governmental lotteries use some mathematical scheme that do not allow you to win. So they write things down, something happens, and it's almost impossible to win in case you play a governmental or state lottery. You have a lottery 25 millions, so 25 or 10 people, just try doing that. This also depends on another thing. If, for example, you find the most unhappy persons. So, for example, if you bring the numbers to me, what I will select, these numbers will most likely be winning. So I will probably ask someone who's very unhappy, a very sick person, to cross out these numbers. So the unlucky person. But the question is how to find these people. Such people who have nothing to lose. So they will cross out the numbers that are lucky in their opinion. After that, these numbers will never win. Why? Because they are unhappy. These people are unhappy because happy people will choose the happy ones. In other words, if a person is lucky, then he must not be given this lottery. If you have completed 2 or 3 courses, then you must search for a person who is not happy. Like, for example, your child came home with a black eye, or a husband and wife are complaining. You're saying, hey, could you please do me a favor? I will buy you a bottle of beer. Can you please cross out 6 numbers on the lottery? You see how it works? These are the things that every esoterics must know. So the lucky numbers are those that are impossible to cross out. They survived everywhere. In other words, they survived in this number. So when a person is told you cross out, and after that you will win something, or you will find the winning numbers. No. The winning ones will be closed. This is the speciality. This is how it works. And can you do it on the contrary? How? The winning numbers are the most unnoticeable ones. So, for example, I come out and start shooting chickens, and the live ones will be the happiest ones, the most undiscovered ones, uncovered ones. When we know it, we must find peace with this approach. When a person says, how do I personally win a lottery? When somebody approaches me, it's difficult. And you must search for these people. You must search for the most unhappy persons. And after that, you must, ask these people to do this for you. So many things. There are things which I'm not even mentioning, but they are there. They do exist. And this is all very interesting. So basically, if you give just a regular piece of paper to a person, not a lottery ticket, this will not work. What you must do, you must make a photocopy of this letter, or draw it, because if you give it to 1,000 persons so that they could fill it out, you will see that some will correlate. So if something will be the same 2 or 3 times, this will be 100% non-winning ones. And the empty ones that have not been crossed out, they will most likely be 100% winning. This is a winning method. Everyone knows about it. It's just that nobody shares it with everyone, because, well, if you win lottery, or if everyone will know about it if you keep winning the lottery. Oh, for example, yes, you can come to the university to a lecture and then analyze these things and analyze the numbers that have not been crossed out. They will be the most winning letters. Yes, excellent, an excellent solution. The most important thing is, find a job at the university to teach, to find students. But you must go to some agriculture university in the 4th year, when there's no money, when exams are approaching. You must give it to the most desperate students. To some vocational school, to teachers of vocational school. Okay, let's continue. So now you will win. So if you pronounce ehe when you breathe in and breathe out, and imagine that you have a ball on your left shoulder, then the person, you will have this opportunity to win something. People will want to give you something. If you imagine this ball on the side of your left chest, here, what I'm showing, and on this ball, you imagine the syllable Yahweh, a golden or white ball, but the letters must be golden. So when you breathe in Ya, when you breathe out Hve, Ya, Hve, then the person connects to the energy of money directly, immediately. Yes, you can picture it in the middle if you want to. If you imagine this ball above your head and a crescent, imagine basically a plate, and on top of this plate there is a ball, and you imagine this sign, and it is written Chav. So imagine there is a plate on your head, and in this white plate there is a white ball, and this ball has the sign Chav. If you imagine this Chav, then the person becomes successful in all the beginnings, in all entrepreneurial activities. Chav. This is how I do it. Chav. You understand? Chav. This is how I do it. You work in a shop and nobody buys anything from you. You have a kiosk and nobody buys from you. For that, you need to imagine that on the left side of your body, at the level of stomach, you have this white ball, and as you breathe in and breathe out, you imagine this and breathe in, breathe out, and the word Kia. You say the word Kia. Kia. Breathe in, breathe out. As you breathe, this is so that you could sell well. Yes, selling services work as well. If you imagine a plate on the left side here holding like under your arm here, and if this ball is glued, and I imagine eol syllable on the, or yeol syllable on this ball, everything in golden letters. Then a person becomes a great writer. Then he starts having the talent to write books, to come up with stories. He becomes a good journalist. Yeol. Yeol. You can picture it either horizontally or vertically, it does not matter. If you breathe in and breathe out, and if you imagine that in your legs, from the thighs, top of the thighs, to the bottom of your feet, if you imagine that, if you imagine white stars in your legs, then you will become some genius. So for example, if you're a creative person, a pianist or a violinist, or a person playing the tube or the guitar, in this case, it's enough to just imagine in the left leg. So if you are a physicist, a mathematician, or analytics, chess player, in this case, in the right one. But for us, for person who do not suspect where their genius is, we can imagine at the same time. Maybe, something good will come out of this. Also, the person may be patient, stable, a very good method. There is no code, just you imagine stars, you picture stars as you breathe in and breathe out in your legs, from top of the thighs to bottom of the legs. If above your head you imagine a golden 5-pointed stars, and imagine that in your energy cocoon you have bright white stripes from top to bottom, from top to bottom, then in any case you will be victorious everywhere. So a head above you, a golden star above you, and golden stripes, you will be victorious, you will be a winner. So just breathing, yes? Yes, just breathing. And how long do I need to keep this image? As you breathe. Next, if you imagine an oval above your head, like 5-pointed stars, golden 5 stars as an oval, and under your feet stars in the shape of a crescent, then you will be very wise. So crescents under your feet, so basically no stars under your feet, but just crescents under your feet. So basically you're wearing these crescents, and you have an oval of stars above your head. You will become very wise. This improves your memory. And another thing that is manifested is that you become a little bit ambitious or egoistic towards certain. So you become a bit of ambitious, egoistic. So the crescents are white and the stars are golden. All the other practices, I could be giving them to you. They are endless. I will not give them to you. Why? Because you don't need them. Because in the future, it will be more and more complex to imagine there are different colors. For the time being, no need. The first code I want to give you is winning the court and paying the debt. Paying the debt and winning the court. Doda as you breathe in, he as you breathe out. Doda, he. The codes that I'm giving you, these are the codes that have not been previously given. So Doda as you breathe in, he as you breathe out. Doda, he. Doda, he. Next. Another thing that clears chakras and increases energy, it gives you the potential of kindness, increasing concentration, your brain start working, you start having energy. Bu as you breathe in, how ti as you breathe out. Bu, how ti. Next, winning the court or getting rid of the prison if you're already serving a sentence. Butaya as you breathe in, tu as you breathe out. Butaya, 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 tu. Butaya, tu. Did you see the yin yang symbol? Yes? If you have something in your life that someone is following you, or some danger awaits you, or you're expecting some sort of judgment for something, or if you have been trialed and they're taking you to prison, then you must imagine that from the sky your body or your energy cocoon falls into this symbol. Just imagine it falls, it is falling, and it goes through or stops somewhere. The right thing is to imagine it in an unusual way. Imagine it as this comma with two white balls. You must imagine it white in an energy cocoon. This symbol basically removes the prison from the life of people, from judgment. So, for example, I sit and imagine that this symbol has fallen right in front of my face, and it has stopped between my feet. And as you breathe out and breathe out, Butayati and you imagine the symbol manifested as only white energy and not so just against the yellow background. So imagine that my energy cocoon is yellow, and I imagine this comma with two dots, and I pronounce Butaya to you, Butaya to you, Butaya to you, Butaya to you. Well, I decided to give it to you. Next, nobility, a lot of money, luck in life. Amazing method that I will give you today. Ikla ifiyu. Ikla as you breathe in, ifiyu as you breathe out. So what must you imagine? In front of your chest, for example, half of your outstretched arm, you must imagine flame that is burning. Flame. If you imagine this flame that is burning in front of your chest, and if you pronounce Ikla ifiyu, then you will become a rich person quickly. It's like with Yahweh method. Has anyone practiced among you? It's a beautiful method. Everything is beautiful here. I can tell you that my esoterics is a new era. Ikla ifiyu. If a person imagines fire burning on top of his head as this candle, top of the candle, then he will live long. His thoughts will be manifested. He will become true. If this flame is burning in front of his chest, he'll be very rich, very, very rich. So it's like fire 15 centimeters in size. So how to imagine correctly? Imagine correctly so that it is not bigger than a crystal ball that I told you. It must not be huge and it must not be too small. Next, good income for your whole life. Foot as you breathe in, yao as you breathe out. Foot yao, foot yao. Foot yao. Foot yao. Lifelong high income. Next, increase of sea energy, psychic energy, increase of kindness, goodness. We all know what this is. Yao tak, yao tak, yao yao. Yao tak, yao yao, plutak tak. Imagine how difficult it is to practice this code. Yao tak, yao yao, plutak tak. That's how I pronounce it. Breathing. Yao tak, yao yao, plutak tak. looks like this cartoon that is called Caliph and this bird. It had the same person that looked like me, a man with a big nose. Can you repeat it once again, please? Яу так, яу, плутак так. Яу так, яу, плутак так. I want to ask you, Andrei Andreevich, for example, we've completed 7 stages. And now, when we are at stage 1, we have an idea. What we will have at stage 7, module 7, I can tell you. I will tell you how the neuron connection is made. The neuron connection that is located in the person, around the person. In other words, what happens on the outside and how we can see it in a special way. In other words, we will see some lines of destiny, whether his wishes become true or not. I will tell you about the crystals of life, what they look like. We'll be able to see whether the person will live long or short. But I want to change my school a little bit. And I can tell you that if previously, if I make a mistake and if I allowed a lot of persons to the stage 7, then, well, most likely not many people will be able to live up to 7 stages. Why? Because if I see that a person is not ready, if he's an evil person, if he's a cunning person, then I have the right to say no to him. Also, the person must prove that he has enough money. He must earn a lot of money in order to be able to pay. And I will make the 7th stage expensive. Why? Because apart from esoterics, the person must become rich. This is one of the specialities. I don't like people who are doing esoterics and after they say, Andrei Andreevich, I want to come to stage 6. Can I like borrow it from you? You know, it's just a laughing matter. I believe this is not right. If you take the leader of esoteric school, did we have it? And I told you, you know, $200 for stage 7 and you want to borrow it from me, you know, it's all about how much energy you accumulated. Yes. So why do that? Do you know how difficult it was to conduct stage 7? You will not even imagine it. Why? Because everyone was borrowing. Яу, так, плутак так, right? There is a symbol that can be imagined in the energy cocoon that increases the psychic energy. I will draw it. This symbol looks like this. Do you see it? Without these things. So in other words, this is a yellow energy cocoon and it has 2 white crossings. So it looks like a fish or like sort of an eye. It's like Chanel. It's like this clothes. This means the increase of psychic energy. It must be where? At the level of stomach or chest. Next, increase of energy and physical Uya Heiyao. Uya Heiyao. Uya as you breathe in, Heiyao as you breathe out. Increase of physical and mental strengths. Uya Heiyao. This increases the physical strength in a person. So for example, you wake up in the morning, you feel, I'm tired, what do I do? I have a fever, no anything, so what do I do? So as you breathe in, Uya, as you breathe out, Heiyao. Uya, Heiyao. And after that you practice it and you will have strength and energy. Remember I gave you the codes that open chakras from person? Yes. You probably started practicing them and started noticing as your close ones start having stress out. They started shouting or get offended. What does it mean? It means that you are strong, that you are sort of creating turbulence, a bottle of space, so to say. So, like a bottle it has some organic matter, and after that, this organic matter, it comes to the bottom. But then your friend came and sort of shook this bottle, and as he shook it, this bottle started smelling. So when the person is practicing this work on himself, he makes vibrations in his energy space, and they're quite strong. Why you need to do it? Because the person who manifests, he becomes a person that manifests energy in the right way. So previously you haven't been seen, but in the future, when you will have this energy state, they will see you even if you will be 2 kilometers away from home. So you go home, the relatives say, "We feel you already coming home." Everyone laughed. We feel you. Why feel? Because energetically you're strong and people start feeling you. There is Russian spirit. Russia smells, as the joke goes. 8. Increase profit from your business. Increase profit from your business. Uyay uy. Uyay uy as you breathe in. Uyay uy. Uyay uy. Usi tochoko as you breathe out. Usi tochoko. Usi tochoko as you breathe out. Uyay uy. Usi tokocho. Uyay uy. Usi tochoko. Uyay uy. Tosi. Uyay uy. Usi tochoko. Uyay uy. Usi tochoko. Be always an influencing person, gaining governance towards people. So, like, achinta, achinta, achinta. This is the syllable. Achinta, achinta. You breathe it out. You breathe it out. You breathe out this sound. So if a person pronounces achinta, 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 achinta. Thus, he does everything possible in order to govern people. What does governing people mean, or dominating people mean? When people listen up to you, when people do what you say, and there's this joke, "Doctor, why doesn't anyone see?" Okay, who's the next one? Or give me some pills from greed, but give them a lot of these pills. Boy, what's your name? How old are you? Peter. Okay, I understand that you're slow in reaction. 12 years old. Okay, I understand that you're slow in reaction. Goodbye. Basically this was a joke about the person who had slow reaction. So they acted like chess players. Why? Because they took time to think. It's only checkers players who think fast, but chess players think fast. So when somebody invites you to make a decision, you say, "I'm a chess player." No need to make quick decisions. What do you need to say when you want to say yes? You must not say no. You may say, "I will think about it." And the person will think, "Oh my God, that person can think." He will think. He can think. Wow, that's amazing. when I started pronouncing these words, and the person says, we can get this and that, and we will share all this, and he starts saying lots of things, and you need to invest $50,000. So if I do it and Peter does it and other do it, we will be able to make this super high speed road. And after that, the person expects me to say yes. And I say, okay, I'll think about it. And the person says, well, how did it not work? And the next day I thought, okay. I said, no, I don't want that. Why? Because when you hear somebody offering you something, well, look, for example, I have a possibility to earn and I truly need a partner. I must say it quietly. Well, I can come up and say I do not want a partner, but it is necessary for me. But if I use another kind of attitude, I need a partner, and then we'll be able to earn together. Well, if a person is being emotional, you must forget about it, because 100% it will not work. This is manipulation. So loud voice, these big eyes, euphoria, that what will happen in the future, all this will not work, because this is pure manipulation, pure lie, and so on and so forth. Usually, nobody's offering anything, because if I feel fine, will I be offering anyone? No, why? What will I do then? Quietly, I will just be doing my own business. Everything for myself. Somebody saying from the audience. Usually a person has this question, and you will feel it sometime. Oh, I'm missing this or missing that. Maybe you start thinking, maybe I should take someone as partners. Then a second day passes, a third day passes, and you start thinking, why do I do it? I believe in my strengths. So little by little, you do it yourselves without partners. That's how it can happen sometimes. And when a person just runs up and says, oh, hey, we can earn. I need quickly 250,000, and if I have it now, then we'll work 1 million each. You no need to talk further. And these people may have imagined this picture, and basically, in order not to torture persons with anything, you must say, okay, I'll think about it, and I will answer you later. Okay. And after that, you say, unfortunately, I do not need that. Why? Because I don't need money, even if you have money. Okay, so let's continue. Accumulation of money, gaining attractive attention, earning thanks to being attractive, or some kind of musical instrument, and so on and so forth. So, or you can earn using your looks or your musical instrument, like a drum. If you are beautiful and you're just using the drums, then you don't need to actually listen to interact with the music. The most important thing is just to drum well. No need for anything extra. So accumulation of money, being attractive, and earning when you have very good looks. This is not what I'm thinking about. No. This is not what we think about. So Mau Maliyao Yatila. Then the morning of a true esoteric. Well, the person sits and says, well done to you. Everyone will want to hire you. Everyone falls in love with you. Maliyao Yatila. Maliyao Latila. Malia o, latila. Number 10. Increase of income, luck in life. I will give you the symbol about increase of income. This is very interesting. I like it. This is what the symbol looks like. If you imagine this symbol, then your income, which you earn, will get twice. And can I write here 100? The answer is no. Why? Because this is like plus. Conditionally, this can only double your income. Yes, so double, and on top and on the bottom this thing. If you join these symbols, it will be triple plus. This is esoteric symbol called triple plus. Do you need to imagine? You need to imagine it in yourselves. Then in business, your income will increase twice. So at level of chest or the energetic cocoon, puskapuyapu hiayau. Puskapuyapu hiayau. This is the mantra that is nice to read along. Puskapuyapu hiayau. Puskapuyapu hiayau. Next, against depressions, fears, and panic attacks. Do you need it? So imagine your cocoon in gold, and in white you imagine the symbol, or just imagine transparent cocoon, then the symbol is golden. Against depression, fears, anxiety, and some nervous breakdowns. In one word, from all the nervous conditions. Tak tak, as you breathe in, and yach as you breathe out. Tak tak, yach. Tak tak, yach. Next, getting wisdom, increase of memory, becoming eloquent. Wisdom, memory, yache as you breathe in, ugu as you breathe out. Yache, ugu. Look, and if I want to influence Yelena, for example, I want to influence her with esoterics, and I want to influence her in such a way so that she has the state of wisdom. So when you imagine these syllables on yourself, you can imagine them as letters at the level of chest. And when you imagine it on the person, you must picture it that they are not horizontal, but that they are vertical. So I imagine Yahe Ugu written vertically. Yahe Ugu I imagine horizontally written. It can be from left to right or from right to left, but on the person, just vertically. On other people, vertically, for you, horizontally. Yeah, here ugo. Just usual text, just like I read it out. If you use some other technique, it may be confusing. Next, gaining psychic energy and gaining the gift of clairvoyance. Yaoya, and zhuzha as you breathe out. Yaoya, zhuzha. Next, increasing the psychic energy, attaining supernatural abilities. The person usually wants some specific things, like Andrei Andreevich, I want some specific things. Give me some specific natural ability, which I will be able to develop using this exercise. So look how it looks like. So I'm telling you, in this place here, somewhere between synagogue and this house, some treasure is hidden. What treasure? And you're asking me, what kind of treasure? And I'm telling you, I don't know what's there. Yeah, no, but what specific treasure will I find there? I'm telling you, I don't know what treasure you will be finding there. I don't know, some sort of treasure, and after you open it, it will be some treasure. I don't know what kind of treasure it will be. The same way when I say it here, when you say increase of sea energy, and so everyone will find their own personal treasure. And this will be something that will differentiate you from other person. You'll understand yourselves independently over time. Unfortunately, I cannot tell you what it will be right away. So it's like finding a treasure, but what it will be, I don't know. Or for example, you've opened a treasure and there is old money. Well, the treasure always looks young, and you're 83. You may not be inspired. Supernatural abilities you may have, and in 10 years you will be 93, but you will look like you're 83. What's the point? Stop the time, you know? So nobody knows what will be there. So, Zhuzha. Number 14. Increase Ния Угу, the code itself, of Ния Угу, Яугу. Ния Угу, Яугу. I can tell you this is the most complex code. When you write it down, you will understand Nia Ugu, Yaugu. As you breathe out, as you breathe in, this is as you breathe in, as you breathe out, Uyigiyu, Ugu Iu. So as you breathe in, Nia Ugu, Yaugu. As you breathe out, Uyigiyu, Uyigiyu, Ugu Iu. And now repeat it, please. Yaugu Yaugu, Uyigiyu, Uguyu. Can you repeat it in the end? Ugu Iu. So let me read it for yourself. Yaugu Yaugu, Uyigiyu, Ugu Iu. Ugu Iu. Ugu Iu. Uyigiyu, Iu, Uu. And now quietly pronounce this and you will understand how difficult it is. After that, you will start speaking well 100%. Next, overall luck, winning, fortune, marriage, love. Well, we will now be laughing. The only thing that you must know is if you're doing it for others, they must pay. Remember I told you that any good is evil manifested to a person. So let them first of all ask you. So they can say, Mom, you're a goddess, can you do some magic for me? And then you can say, daughter, don't worry about anything. The night brings advice. And in the morning she wakes up all jumpy. And you're asking her, how are you, daughter? Well, I can't understand. One part of my head loves him and the other part hates him. Well, and she says, don't worry, daughter, just go to bed. The morning brings advice. This is evil, and you are the evil of this. You are the root of this evil. So overall luck, winning, and fortune. This is what I said, a very funny code. I will read it out to you and then... Well, this is a very funny code. Let's write it down. Well, how would you like to get married? Funny. With laughter. So the first marriage night, and after that you read out this code. Uyaúche. Uyaúche. I remember this actor Kramrop who was shouting Uche Uche. It's like ears in Russian. Uyaule pile. Uyauchi pile tsilu as you breathe in and jikuku as you breathe out. It's very funny, right? Your girlfriend is leaving forever. I was on vacation once. Imagine young guys, foreigners who did not know Russian, they started singing a song and maybe they probably wrote. So basically these foreigners were singing a song and they were confusing words which sounded very funny. Which sounded very funny. You know, I could not even believe that someone was able to mix the words of the song in such a way. And E-Type band came to Ukraine. I went to their concert, and this man jumps out, the curly one, the curly-haired one. And the first words he started saying, "Hello, my name is Igor. Goodbye, goodbye." He said, "Hello, my name is Igor. Goodbye, goodbye," and many times. So people like multiplying, so that you could be liked by people and multiplying love in you. So being liked by people and multiplied. Siagu, tahu vayagu. Siagu, tahu vayagu. Siagu tahu as you breathe in, vayagu as you breathe out. Siagu tahu vayagu. Next, marry quickly, find a husband or wife quickly. Sometimes you need it, right? Marry quickly. It's important, right? I hear deep sighs. Yakizi, egouk. as you breathe out. Yagizi, yagoug, agoug. Yagizi, agoug. Zigu word, there is a syllable Z and gu. It means time forward, time backward. Zigu, remember I told you, tam, ta tam. Or such words. It's the same thing with this zigu. Zigu, it's the code that removes the possibility of aging. So next, getting becoming young, becoming beautiful, gaining beautiful and youth. Opu ia, o ia, o ia, o ia, uguia. The second syllable, ugu ziguyao. Ugu ziguyao. Ugu ziguyao. Ugu ziguyao. O ia. Next. Are you tired? Okay, let's write next. From fear, from depression against schizophrenia. So against being afraid, against schizophrenia. Yaum as you breathe in. Yaum as you breathe in. Yaum khuti as you breathe out. Khuti. Yaum khuti. Yaum khuti. Next, for luck, for happy life. Yahu as you breathe in, prara as you breathe out. Yahu prara. Yahu prara. Becoming a famous person. You want to become famous, right? Well, maybe not, maybe yes. Why not? If I become a famous singer, I'll sing. I just need to find money. So, becoming famous. Fi-u-fi, fi-u-ti, fi-u-fi, ti-u-ti as you breathe in. Fi-u-fi, fi-u-fi, ti-u-ti. Next as you breathe out. Si-ui-ui, si-ui-ui. Fi-fi-ui, si-ui, si-ui-ui. Next, si-ui-ui. Next, code against any evil and not being lucky and from any kind of influence, from evil, from energy influence, from some bad things, and so on and so forth. Vizazavahim as you breathe in. Vizazavahim. 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 Visa. Zavahim. Vizazavahim. Tuvahim as you breathe out. Tuvahim. Tuvahim. Vizazavahim. Tuvahim. This sounds Jewish. Next, getting love and respect. Хуп циняй. Хуп as you breathe in, циняй as you breathe out. Хуп циняй. Excuse me. So that you would get love and respect towards you. Хуп циняй. If a woman lives with the husband, she must practice хуп циняй. Then he starts respecting her, treating nicely, hear the words she's saying, listening to her opinion. Next, in order to remove jealousy or any negative influence, black magic on you, there is another code, and I will give it to you today. Ria riu ri, ria riu ri. As you breathe in, iriu as you breathe out. Ria riu ri, iriu. You can pronounce it as a loud mantra. It also works very well. If you compare Chigimo and this mantra that removes evil and this mantra that I just told you about, then this mantra is by several hundred times stronger than Chigimo. Ia riu ri, I iriu. So dominate over enemies and become famous. Ya as you breathe in, Huteputi as you breathe out. Ya as you breathe in, Huteputi as you breathe out. Huteputi. Next, get luck. I get some reward. Becoming lucky in business. Yahipu tsitacha. Yahipu. Yahipu. And as you breathe out, tsitacha. Yakipu tsitacha. Next, the healing gift and clairvoyance gift. Milevci, 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 Uyau, Yai Yaugu, Milevci, Yai Yaugu, Milevci, Guyau, Yai Yaugu. Has anyone been able to write it down? Yes. Milevci, as you breathe in. So gaining power and respect. Heu, Heululu. Heululu. Next, becoming powerful and rich. So, power, richness, hit as you breathe in, shia finya as you breathe out. Shia finya as you breathe out. So, influence and rich. The next one removes the blockage of money. There are some people like, I feel this money, but people don't get it. So removing this blockage of money, removing the problems of material growth. So when something is not working. Ria ia u. Ria ia u. Ria ia u. Shich tilich as you breathe out. Ria ia u. Shich tilich. Shich tilich. Shich tilich. Ria ia u. Shich tilich as you breathe out. Shich tilich. Shich tilich as you breathe out. Next, gain a lot of money suddenly out of nowhere. Yaur as you breathe in. Yaur ra. Yaur ra. Find fame and respect. Цвау ру. Цвау. As you breathe in, ru as you breathe out. Цвау ру. Цвау ру. Цвау ру. Did you write it down? Next, remove the blockage of entrepreneurial activity. Like when people say, nothing works out for me as an entrepreneur. When people say that, for example, or when in France or in Russia or in our village, nobody is doing anything. Nobody can do anything. How do they live? It's difficult to earn money in Ukraine. Really? I came out into the street. There is no usual car. There are just expensive cars. Yeah, right. It's so difficult to earn money, For example, when you come to a restaurant and the average meal costs $100. And after that, you decided that you want a $100 meal, $100 meal. And basically, okay, so the situation that has just been described, that they have run out of vacant places. And he told me, come in 2-3 hours to get a table. And he thinks, you wanted to eat. You wanted to have something to eat. The food costs $100. And this is something I did not came up with. This is a true story. So there are one and the same restaurants. For example, in one restaurant, a meal can cost 400 hryvnias, and if it's close to synagogue, you can multiply it by 10. I believe that the owners are the same. It's just that the difference between the distance. So 2 identical restaurants, but price is different. So let's continue. So removing the blockage for earning money. Ruva yuva ru yuri. Ruva yuva ru yuri. Next. Ruva yuva ru yuri. Next, gain wisdom and pay out the debts. Because sometimes there is not enough wisdom to pay the debts. Gain wisdom, comma, pay the debts. Learn how to pay debts. Some people knew it. So, breathe in, pru as you breathe out. So, pru, so, pru. Getting rid of enemies, of competition. From ой, я ижи. Ой, я ижи. This is the code. Ой, я ижи. Next, gaining supernatural abilities and predicting the future for a person. I like the code I'm about to give you. I really like it. Уяхи ахи зази. Уахи яхи зази. Уахи яхи зази as you breathe out. Уахи яхи зази. Next, getting younger and getting fitter. Losing weight. This is the clairvoyance symbol. Clairvoyance. So, getting younger and losing weight. Oi yahu. Oi yahu. Look, yahe yahu are the syllables that usually attract something that is related to material. To the material, but it is not necessary to work with them often because Yahoo syllable, well, make a note. In case you have oncological tumors or suspicion for tumor, do not practice syllables that have syllables Yahoo or Yahi because they basically contribute to rapid growth of oncological cells. There is such a syllable called Yahe. Yahe is something that destroys, or Yahoo. It's something that destroys oncological disease. Yahoo, Yaher. As you breathe out. Yahoo, Yaher. Then it destroys oncology. No, this must be practiced only for yourself. Yahoo. Or Uyau, Yaher. Uyau, Yaher. Next, getting all your wishes. Or enlightenment. Uvu or Shiva. Uvu or Shiva. Or сети. Uvu or Shiva or сети. Uvu or Shiva or сети. Сети as you breathe in, сети as you breathe out. Shiva is as you breathe in, Shi, as you breathe out, Va, or сети, both breathe in and breathe out. This all leads to enlightenment, gaining your wishes, raising the Kundalini energy. Next, you become smart, get lucky with wishes. You tune to life, giving you what you want. You get motivation. You become lucky. Uya chichachu, uya chichachu, uya chichachu. And as you breathe out, oyoy. Uya chichachu, oyoy, as you breathe out. Uya chichachu, oyoy. The morning begins, mother sits and she starts reading this code. Uya chichachu, oyoy. Next, becoming healer, doctor, heal with consciousness, with hands, gain the gift of healing. Imagine this mantra was given 5 or even 6 years ago. Sveta, do you remember it? Sanai. So become a healer, a doctor. Sanai as you breathe in, now Ao as you breathe out. Sanai, now Ao. Next, increasing psychic energy, attaining the even level of your feelings. Uche yatam vacha, uche yatam acha, as you breathe out. Differently, this is increase of spiritual energy. Uche yatam acha. Next, I will give you an incantation, a code, rather, that it is good to read for those who have a family at home. It works very well. It's been tested. Read it. You will have very good relationships, warm relationship, where all will make peace with each other, all will love each other, all start all will start loving each other. So it increases love. Uyau as you breathe in, Chihait as you breathe out. Uyau, Chihait. Next, success in entrepreneurial activity or increasing profit from your sales or income. Yasishi. Yasishi. Next, I'm being quick, right? Yasishi. Yasishi. So success in entrepreneurial activity. Next. So you're selling something and you want return customers. So not just people to buy, also that more people recognize you, in other words, the appearance of your personal brand. You even have this thing. Ya ua ua u. Ya ua 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 u. Ya ua ua u. Wow. And as you breathe out. Ya ua ua u. Wow. Wow. Uya uya u vau. Next, clairvoyance in pure form. Трясет гаву as you breathe in. Трясет гагу. Трясет гагу. Ияй as you breathe out. Трясет гагу ияй. Трясет гагу ияй. Is that Lady Gaga? What's happening here? Well, the person wants to become clairvoyant. Is that it? No, it's not it. Next, I would like you to have the opportunity to develop supernatural abilities. I would like to give you secret codes by practicing which, very little time, 100% you will feel some special powers manifesting in you, especially for you. So what kind of abilities can it be? Look, since childhood, say, I have an acute capability to feel other people. So, for example, people are nervous, or I feel nervous, or come to a market, I get angry. This is a bad ability. When you develop supernatural ability, it may be I may be indifferent at the market, anywhere. This is a supernatural ability when the person feels indifferent and when he does not feel the feelings of other persons. Imagine it. Then I very much like people who call others to develop supernatural abilities and the ability to feel others. No need. This is empathy. The empathy lowers. The more empathy, the better person feels other persons, the lower, the worse he lives, and he has low energy tones. No, the person must learn to not to pay attention to what others are feeling. He must learn how to become totally indifferent to it. So he must become anti-empathic person. So I can give you names of the ability that you may have, like its maximum manifestation or siddha. But as you siddha mahima, for example, is when a person starts to get separated from his physical body and fly and enter into anyone. But in order for you to gain this siddha, parallel, you must be able to have the supernatural abilities, like see the inner organs of the person or predict fate. I didn't want to give it to you at the very beginning, the name of the city itself, but I want to tell you this. I will tell you what kind of city it is, what kind of paranormal activity or what code belongs to what. But in order to manifest it, you need to follow, you need to keep reading it for more than 50% of your life. But we don't need the chief, the main siddha. Look, for me, in order to win a running competition, I need to start running and to do it for 20 years. Only then will I be able to win it. But in order for me to be in good shape, I just need 10 minutes a day or 10 minutes a week in order to run some small distance. Why? I'm not a dreamer. I do not want to win the Olympics. But tell me, will I be different from normal persons who just go to clubs, drink beer, eat basically eat meat in the morning, and they don't go in for sports? They just lie down and get fat. Of course, I will be different from these people, but I will give you the winner of Olympic Games. So Sitha of the winner. This is maximum what you can develop within this Sitha, using this Sitha, but it has preliminary elements that are seen as supernatural abilities as when you attain these Sitha. So it's like once a week you run. So you're different from other people, but you have this quality, okay? So when you start reading it and when you start having the desire, like Andrei Andreevich, you will give the Sitha become small or become big, turn into animal, materialize gold. But I've been reading it for 1 hour, and over 5 years, I have not been able to learn how to vomit gold and so on and so forth. Look, this will not happen, most likely. Why? Because you need it not 5 days, but every day, 8 hours. You must work for the next 25 years, but do you need it? Let's earn this gold. We don't need to vomit this gold. It's much easier to just earn it. The person says, I want to develop the supernatural Siddha so that I could cough and gold would appear out of my mouth. Is it possible to do it? Yes. But for that, you need to work 9 hours a day. And for the next 15 years. Are you ready for that? Okay, I'm ready. You're a fool then. Why? Let me explain. You can basically hire people, let them do it, and in the future, you will be able to vomit money by hiring others. So you will be doing the same thing. But in this case, you will have time. So there are no guarantees anywhere. No guarantees about this gold thing. So to understand that everyone has their own different potentials. I'm a person who is 2 meters tall and huge 2-meter feet. Will it be easier for me to run than with a person who has legs 50 centimeters and he does 50 steps when I make one? It's easier for me to learn how to run. Well, basically, we're different with invisible energy abilities, and each person identifies these as their own. So, like for example, one person are more sensual, others are sensory, a third they navigate by smelling, others simply recognize a lot of information from a person when they weigh up their hands. So you can just close your eyes, and when you start feeling a person with your hand, you feel hot. This means that there will be some knot. Okay, so when you feel a knot, what must you do? You must imagine that you pour snow, and if you feel coldness in this person, then you must imagine that you are sewing this place. So if it's heat, then you just break this knot, break it, cut it, and put snow. And if it's cold, then you sew it. And if you feel with your hand but do not feel anything, well, there were some jokes I was saying. So basically, you do not look at a person and just wave your hand, and the place of acute pain will be pulsating. So then you determine whether it's a hot place or it's a cold place. So basically what I have said, I'm just repeating what I have said. This is it. So I'm just repeating what I have said many times. Well, you probably know all this because you were in my workshops on healing, but let's get back to our first module, and it's not 21 model, and let's write the supernatural ability that's called anima. Anima. You will find in the internet siddha. Anima siddha. This is the ability to become small. So this is scaling. In other words, a person can change their size. The person can become smaller than the smallest. Mahima. That's what it's called. Anima. I'm sorry. Anima. What are siddhas? These are supernatural abilities, or the ability of a person to create miracles. Anima opens using the code key, and as you breathe out, Allah. Key, Allah. Next, Mahima. 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 Sundayu. As you breathe in, Dayu as you breathe out. Next, so you will read an article online. Lag Hima. Lag Hima. Igi Tana syllable. Igi Tana. Igi Tana. Igi Tana. Igi Tana. Igi Tana. Garima. This is Siddha. Garima. We put dash. Ucho. 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 Next. Prapti. 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 Ki as you breathe in, na as you breathe out. Kina, kina. Next, siddha, prakamya, prakamya. Dza, bo, dza, bo. Dza, bo. Next, did you put it down? Vashitvam. Vashitvam. That's what it's called. Ga, lao, ga, lao. As you breathe out. Ishitvam, the next one. Ishitvam. Ksa. Ksa, tsa. Ksa, tsa. Ksa as you breathe in, tsa as you breathe out. And now all of us together, let's try to breathe in together with me with all these siddhas. Why? This will allow you to choose your personal maha siddha. If in the future you select only this, and if you practice it for a very long time, not only will you make your fate even, but you'll become very successful and fully realized, super smart, and so on and so forth. When do we read it? In the morning? I will show you how to read it. So, how will you define them? How will you determine them? When we start reading certain codes, you will feel the desire to do some and not do others. In other words, you will understand it now. And highlight for you. Just make it in your pay attention to what you like and what you don't like. And if you don't like anything, then you just point your finger to anyone without looking. No need to now, but let's try to feel. To choose, are you ready? Let's try it. Yes. So we will now read out our last codes that correspond to siddhas. Thus we will choose our personal siddha for ourselves, which is typical for us and which is fine for us. In other words, maha siddha. In other words, it will be your personal maha siddha, personal ability that is inherent of you. So if you follow the siddha, if you attain the state of maha siddha, Jesus Christ, Buddha Gautama, these are the maha siddhas. The Pope, Grigory Rasputin. Who else? Ralph Saint Germain. Natalia Rerichovna Blavatsky. Vladimir Putin? No. So Ki Allah, Ki Allah, Ki Allah. Next. Sun Dayu, Sun Dayu, Sun Dayu. Next. Igi Tana, Igi Tana, Igi Tana. Ucho, 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 Ucho. Next, Ki Na, Ki Na, Ki Na, Ki Na. Dzabo, Dzabo, Dzabo. Ga Lao, Ga Lao, Ga Lao. Ga Wow. Ksa Tsa, Ksa Tsa, Ksa Tsa. Another time, Ksa Tsa. Ga Lao. Dzabo. Dzabo. Ki Na, Ki Na. Ucho, Ucho. Igitana, Igitana. Сундаю, сундаю. Ки Аллат, ки Аллах, ки Аллах. Okay. So tell me, do you like any of them? Let's each have each own. So highlight, no need to shout, but preliminary highlight the ones that you liked. Just select one out of many. Thing is that in most people it's different. I can tell you the ones which suit me most. Ucho, this is what I like. I like ucho. But it depends. Kiala, who liked Kiala? You see, there are such people. And the another one, Sundai. Igitana, who liked Igitana? You see? What about Ucho? You see, there are people who like Ucho. What about Kina? Zabo. There are people. Galau. Ksatsa. And who didn't like anything? What if I liked everyone? No, you can't like everything. You must select just one. Your personal sitcha. Don't be greedy. Just select one. Which one do I recommend? The one that heats the fourth chakra. If if it turns on the light, or if it makes you cold, then it suits you. It started living within you. Ksatsa is amazing. If you do it, then your body will freeze. What will lead to? You will gain paranormal ability to penetrate into the world of the dead and bring them back to life. Imagine that. But it's not very good because people usually don't do it. It makes the human boiler of life very cold. Did anyone like Satsa? It's very cold. It actually means that you had ties to dead people. Is that okay for me to say that? Or there were people whom you loved very much and you can't let them go. Thus, you have this tree. It was formed earlier and it lived like that. You could, it looked like that. What could I make this person alive or something? So, if you have chosen Ksatsa, better pronounce Ucho. If you have selected Ksatsa, this is also a way of person. It's also not bad. And only for that, I can be awarded by the Order of Ledin the first order, like the highest prize. So I can tell you that only for that you could have this first module. Also, I wanted to give you certain symbols that can help person be rich. They are popular, we know them. Let me draw it. So the first symbol changed symbol. Sao San. Sao San. And this form, it works better. This worked better. What do you do? When you need money, just look at it. Do you need to depict it in some way? Or carry it as a talisman? No. It will bear no effect. You just look at it. So the symbol that you can make as your talisman or make a tattoo. I don't know if you like it or not, but this is the symbol. This is the symbol of money, or symbol of attracting material well-being. You can meditate on it or look at it or carry it with you. It can be called as elephant because it looks like it's an elephant. A bit. If you draw additional things. It looks like this guy, right? Like this funny guy. That's the symbol. Symbol like that. So if you work with the symbol, imagine it in you or on you, then the person has vibrant material well-being. This symbol like that, or another variation of symbol, just the one on bottom. So both these symbols are symbols of high material well-being. This symbol on top raises energy tones. In other words, the person stops having all the dark sides, all the troubles in his life. Although it may look a bit unpleasant for the Russian people, but that's how it is written. Both these symbols, S letter, and that symbol, all this leads to the fact that the person removes poverty in his life or being unlucky, unsuccessful. All this is removed from a person's life with this symbol. That's it? Do you need anything else? You want more? Yeah, sure, I can draw some more for you. There's a whole notepad of symbols. You know, I can give it to you separately for 30 days in a row. If you don't believe me, I can show you. Here, look here. How many symbols? I don't know, wait. You see it? You see them? This is how the school was being formed, Kailan. Like a whole notebook. Remember I told you that I observe and write down. This is a whole notebook. There are many things here. I use all this, but this is not it. It's not just one notebook. I can tell you that over time, it became clear why a person became rich. I know the symbols of egregors, religious symbols of people, why certain people have good, others have bad, what happens in the external life, what kind of struggle takes place. This is a whole level of esoteric world. It's very interesting, true, but you must be ready for it. Otherwise, you may have schizophrenia. Can you say that all of this is schizophrenia? Probably if you start seeing it and drawing it, then it may sound schizophrenic, but when you start using those things which as you believe will give some sort of effect, it'll be good. It should be good. So these are the things that work for money or against some diseases. Of course, there is a good notebook and there is a bad notebook. Why? Well, for different purposes. It's just that I'm selecting the way that is pleasant for me. So, for example, a person can be in a bad mood. When he sees the symbols that are manifested, they can be, well, like some symbols can affect negatively a person. Or some people may have traumas. You can look at the symbols of higher suffering. You can do many things. In other words, magic can be both black and white. Of course, I choose the way when it is possible to give something that is only good. My way is the way of kindness and honesty, the way of moral purity. This is the way I try to follow. Although it would be not much easier to work if my workshops had the name "How to Kill Your Mother-in-Law in 3 Days." Really? Or how to make unknown people give you like money, or give you some property, or banks could give you money. This could attract people, but pay attention that this is someone's money. Someone will be giving this money away, and those people have children and so on and so forth. And I thought 30 minutes on it, and I thought that no, people do not need this way, because the way of destruction is simple. You may set a fence on fire, it will burn down, but try to build this fence. Well, building takes much more time. The way of creation is long and hard. Well, some people come to me and say, and make me successful. How? Well, make me read something, and so that I could become rich or healthy. I tell him this: listen, the way of revival is a way that is not fast. Well, if you said, Andrei, make it so that I would shit with blood, this would be a very easy way. I would get money for that. This is easier done. But how to remove this blood from a person's stool, it's much more difficult. In other words, when what people want is that people do bad things in a moment, In other words, you may feel that, follow a diet, be on a diet. A person says, I was on a diet for 30 days and on 31st day I ate much. Well, thing is that maybe it would be better for you not to follow this diet, because a lot of food that you ate on the 31st day was worse. Andrei is sharing a story from life about overeating. Basically explaining what has previously been said. The whole world is fighting for a person to take some side. This world chooses the person to either choose either the side of evil or the side of good. So an evil person chooses evil, a good person chooses good. And imagine, the person that chooses good does not allow evil. He's not evil. He's not a carrier of evil. Well, if I get offended, this means that this person is a carrier of evil. And after that, the person says, why am I feeling unwell? Well, thing is that if you're evil inside, then you'll be surrounded by evil. Your life will contain only evil, right? For the Russian people who know the words good and evil, this is something that everyone understands. Do not let evil in your life. Do not become angry. Do not carry evil, and everything will be fine. But certain things are much easier to be said than done. Or, well, I can find some sort of video, Facebook. This little boy was like his leg was torn apart. So it's like a very negative news. Another video of injury. Details of injuries. Well, sometimes people come and ask for immediate help. Well, what I suggest is use вход and use the philosophy. Accumulate. Well, the person who comes to Andrei may have a negative attitude, and that person just wants to kill everyone. Give me a pentacle so that I could make the person die or feel bad. Give me some tool. This is the height of evil. I used to be a normal person. Then I came to sort of the Kailas school, and I become evil. This is what people are telling me, and no, this is what I do not want to hear. When I was creating this Kailas school, I hoped that it would be a new wave of good in the world, of basically manifestation of all the best relationships in a family and so on and so forth. For example, a small person, a son of a tractor worker, had a dream had a hope to improve other people's lives. And after that, someone says, I'm sick and tired of everything. I feel worse and worse. I do practices. I work 8 hours a day. You don't need to do anything. The only thing that you need to do is to find the state of good in you. And it must be found, because there is an eternal fight, eternal struggle. Evil will try to get attention to the evil, and your task is not only to identify it, but to ignore it without letting it come to you, and choose the sincere state of good. So this is the true spiritual deed, spiritual feat. What about spiritual way of the person? Can it be easy? No. Also, the way of evil is not easy either. Both the ways are quite difficult. The only thing I wanted to do, I wanted to create a way for a person that can be, so that a person could walk the way of good softly, evenly, beautifully. You see, this is the way that can happen, but it is esoteric. After that, once Boris Grebenshchikov sang God is light and it does not have any darkness. What is darkness? Darkness when it's cold, when no good things, no light things are visible. How does a person get himself into darkness? When he has a negative attitude. He doesn't see anything. After that, the person says, well, your husband or your wife will support you, and that person says, no, I hate the whole world. That person creates coldness. I will not speak to anyone. The whole world is evil. No, you become like a dead person. You become like you're in a grave. There are such people who have basically who hid themselves in their apartments, and they leave the house for money. So they are living in coffins already. They have selected this way, and this way is like a way of dead people. After that, of course, someone must use simple words and show the way that truly is very obvious and can be seen very easily. And after that, we basically realize that we're a person for which evil and goodness fight in us. So you can open YouTube and select something. Nowadays, it's difficult to select things because a lot of people are a manifestation of evil. Even today, I was showing people, there was this spiritual leader, Smirnov, Mr. Smirnov. He said, this is the second person after Patriarch Alexei. He says the following things. If there are such people who are disobedient, it's a good thing that this person is disobedient. But if a person, if you kick out 2 front teeth out of this person, then he will become obedient. And if not, then 6 teeth. And if will not obey, then you just put a knife in his liver, and after that, if he is alive, he will be nice and obedient. Really? Did you hear that? Yes, like a church person. This is something I showed you. This is a person wearing the spiritual clothes, the religious clothes. This is a religious title. This person must not speak of any sort of violence. He must speak about kindness, about being patient, about people supporting each other. And here he says that people are like dogs. That is terrible. Is it possible? Even as a joke, you shouldn't say it. Like a dog, he says. Of course, we can say that we use everything for our own goals. Yes. If we do not see this interview till the end, well, when you listen to the end of this interview, you see how much negativity, unkindness this person has. And we see this unkindness all the time. You know, the first supernatural ability that you see is the ability to see a person's fate. You see other people, some people unkind and other people kind. You see those people who are kind, they will have a chance to become very happy. Pay attention. You see unkind and kind persons. You see how, and can you say that this kindness and unkindness is manifested without words on the mental level? And have you noticed that sometimes the person may have like a face that is, you know, that may not have a good face, or may feel unwell. This sign of unwellness may be manifested, but the person still manifests kindness. Well, thing is that we admire. We are the people that get the state of Advaita. We admire everything and accept everything as it is. So the question is, am I for homosexuals or against homosexuals? I say, I have nothing to do here. I'm neither for nor against. I'm not in it. Next, Andrii, I was asked, could you tell me, do you support parades of homosexuals? I want to tell you, when a person is sick with something, or when a person has some sort of disability, this is called a sickness, right? Here, a sickness can be, well, a person can be disabled. People can use crutches or be in a wheelchair. There are persons who are born without legs, blind people. In the same way, homosexuals are born. So basically, this is a genetic deviation. And you can say, let's make a parade of the blind people. Should they be happy and basically promote that they are blind people? Will this cause anything among anyone? Why do it? Like, okay, let's make a parade of AIDS or people who were removed to a certain body, one-legged parade. Will this call it happiness? The people who have AIDS, do they need to go in the streets and shout, let everyone have AIDS? Let everyone knows that we have this. If you're sick, be sick quietly. The same thing with that. If people are sick, no need to tell it to everyone else. You know, we as esoterics people, we have nothing to do here. If there are such people, it's fine. We're neither for nor against it. Okay, it's already 20:41, and we also have charging of a bead. So we have chosen a Maha Siddha, and now charging of bead. Questions we leave for tomorrow. And today, charging and blessing candles for removing bad programs and removing problems. This is a necessary condition for module 1, the knowledge of how to work with wax candle. So we use a wax candle in order to remove problems from our lives. Does a wax candle work? As practice has shown, a wax candle works as the best element for removing problems of a person. What kind of problem? Debt, meeting, or anything else? I recommend, and I believe it is one of the best ways that can help a person 100% to remove any negativity from a person's life. How to do it? In order to work with the candle, you must charge it. Why? Because your vibration turns this candle on. Uncharged candles don't work, unfortunately. How to charge a candle? You must take a wax candle. There are requirements for it. The requirements are the following. It must be made of yellow wax or of white wax, so it's not paraffin. Also, the candle must be yellow or wax color. We do not use color candles in our school, So no white colored, no black colored. Also, rolled candles are forbidden to use. There's rolled candles. Not use it, just whole. So when, for example, a rolled candle is when you do it like this. So you take a wax sheet, you roll it. We do not use this kind of candle. We ignore these candles. Next, the candle must not in any way have any weeds or any signs or anything like that, or crosses and things like that. Crosses must be removed. It must not have anything. No signs, no anything. Also, if the middle of the candle has this white rope, and this rope is used other than the white rope, white color, wick, candle wick, it must not be used. So there can be different colors of wick, red, green, etc. You can buy some in church, right? Well, if it's possible, do not buy it in the church. But if you buy it in the church, it's okay. When you charge it, usually the old information disappears. It's just that small amount of energy can be received. But okay, so we take this candle and we imagine that this candle is made as if from a pipe. Imagine that our wax candle is empty inside. So we touch it to our forehead, we lean forward, we pronounce it when we breathe out, and we imagine that the water from the head it goes to this candle and fills the candle. After that, we put this candle and light it. The candle must be as far away as the stretched arm, no closer. Also, our school clearly forbids rituals when people go around a person. What happens if you go around a person and wave it around? Then legs break down, and also the sensations of unpleasantness and poverty appears. So if you come to people with candles, you will have nothing. No work, no fire, because the fire removes everything that can be removed. So for example, it may remove the husband, may remove well, actually, you should have just removed the unpleasantness at works. If you take a candle and if you roll it near the chest, how it usually happens, then you will stop having money for a lot of time. Really? Then why do it? Why? Has someone done this rolling of candles? So we joined the aura with the candle. Well, don't do it. The candle must not be closer. It must not walk around you. Place it at an outstretched arm or still a bit further, and start thinking the following way. For example, I have a neighbor. This neighbor, I take $300 from this neighbor, and after that, Peter or John got acquainted me with this person. I took money from this person, and I wrote him the statement that I will return. So this letter says that I, Andrei, take money from Peter, from John, and I will try to give this money back, but I do not have money. I will not be able to give it back. Petrov starts saying, Peter, when will you give money back? He says, there's no money. He starts threatening me. He starts threatening me with court, with trials, and so on and so forth. After that, he starts making noises at my door. What do I need to do? I need to place a candle and imagining that moment, remembering that moment when I was writing this letter. In other words, I must imagine walking into a person, getting the piece of paper, and I must picture it as shots of a movie. So the first thing that I do is I picture it that I've taken money, and then I picture it not in my head, but at the distance of an outstretched arm. So basically, I remember or memorize everything as it is happening above the candle. So I imagine the flame of a candle burning this image. After that, I rest for a few seconds, and after that, I repeat it. Is it a difficult process? Yes, it's difficult. But does it help? Has anyone used working with candle? It's very difficult, right? I worked for 1 month. It was very difficult, but well, it is very effective. It is very efficient. There is nothing more efficient. But there are some peculiarities. There are some good qualities of working with this practice. If a person works with such a candle, if he falls asleep, then in case he falls asleep and if he sleeps with a lighted candle, then this energy automatically burns out. In other words, you're sleeping and the work is working. In other words, it's very good to sit on the table, to place it on the floor, and when you want to sleep, you just you need to turn away from this candle and sleep as long as you can. All this time, this energy will work. Do I need to explain you once again how it works? Do you understand what I said? So there are certain examples that are given by the speaker. Basically, this is an explanation of another example. When a person imagines burning this image, burning again and again. After that, the situation improves for you, but no evil is done here. If I have positive intention, in other words, when I am burning or removing this person from this position, as it was said in the example, most likely that person will be removed from the position. He will not be killed, or he will not be, fired. Persons actually climb the corporate ladder, so there is no harm. Basically, we help the person to earn money in a better way. But the place is removed. Usually a person comes and says, Andrei Andreevich, I want Ivan Petrovich to replace Ivan Petrovich. I'm one person who can do something good for one person. Why? This is an esoteric law. If a patient comes to you, you can do something for her, or if a client comes to you, you can do just something very good for the client, one thing. So it's either you must not remove one person from one position and replace him with another. Why? For example, this ball is at this place, but I want something else, cookie, to be in this place. Or here's the cookie, I want a notepad on this place. So what happens? You start burning this. So basically this box starts to disappear. and this starts to come, replacing it. But if it's consequences, so first I lift up and then I put down the notepad. And people, what do? People do like this. Neither here nor there, nothing happens. So, for example, is it possible so that a man would leave his wife and come to me? No, two different works. Okay, so what about if the man leaves from the wife and comes to another woman? What about me? Well, we must always remember about the freedom of choice, because people are free to choose anything. So even if you're replacing someone in your mind with something else, then there is also the freedom of choice. A person may not want to live with you instead of his old wife. And even today I had an example. A woman came to me and she said, I want you to help me bring my husband back. And I am telling, well, she's telling me that he went to a young person. Well, this woman asked me, is it possible for you to return this man? And I'm telling you, I lived with him 4 years. During these 4 years, for the last year, how many times did you have intimate relationships? In other words, how many intercourse did you have? Sorry for raising such topic. How many times did you have this intimate topic, this intimate intercourse? Well, I got mad with him. No. We were in good terms. Did you have any sort of intimate relationships? Yes, we did have them for the years, but I felt unpleasant. I don't want that. So he went to a woman. So to have intercourse. So what should happen? What should happen if no intercourse happened? So that person waited. He believed the intercourse to be important. The woman believed not important. And basically, of course, he left. He found a young woman. Well, the young one is probably more active or something else. After that, is he happy? I don't know whether he's happy or not because I don't have his picture. But the woman looked very happy. She looked like a happy person. Of course, he's 50 and she's like 26. Her parents aren't very happy about that. But still, I'm telling her, how can you not understand? If you bring the relationship back, will you have intercourse with him? Well, he said, no, of course not. He's a bad person. He betrayed me. How to live with him? And I'm saying, why why get him back? And she says, well, he's my man. I'm fighting for all my men. Well, I'm exaggerating, of course, but this is how it is. You know, I look at all of this, and the person wants to not to feel happy. Some people do not want others to feel happy. Some people want to make others impotent. Yeah, you know. Now I want to switch to another example. When, for example, men are always searching. They're always searching for someone, and they can't stop. And then this man appears, and I felt sorry for the wife because she was truly patient. She knows that he basically had intercourse with other women. I didn't want to take this thing for a long time, but after that, everything was fine. Another story. They are both famous doctors. They lived together for a long time, and he went to live with a woman who was much older, not as beautiful, who was poor, you know. Everything was very bad. And when you look at him and when you look at that woman, and he has the face of a very sick and tired person. And with the other one, you look, he has an energetic face. That's what's called, you know, that's called bewitching or charming or a love spell. Of course, you must help if it's the case of a love spell, because in case of a love spell, then the person drinks alcohol, he's angry, he wants to drink alcohol, and so on and so forth. After that, will I help in this case? Yes, in this case, I will help to deal with the situation. That's how it is. So please tell me, was it interesting for you to share and to listen the knowledge that I gave you? Do you like stage 1, module 1? Do you know that tomorrow is the final day? I want to devote it to the following. We will have clairvoyance. In other words, I will give you methods with clairvoyance, how to look. Also, I want us, because our Kailas school is celebrating a birthday, I want us to have a esoteric practicum. It's called Wishes Come True. Do you want that? Yes. Okay. Let's make this practicum. What we will do is well, I also remember that we have people remotely. Well, what I'll do is I will put an altar here. I will prepare a place, and I will make a ritual for our wishes to come true. It's like when we remember in the C course when we were lying our head towards the plate. We will do this following thing. So you will I will place a plate, we will make a wish, and I will make it happen within 1 year. I will make a wish come true within 1 year. One good wish. Will you read to us? Yes, reading the book. And what about the first karmic knot is fear. The second karmic knot, this is the knot that is between his blades. So tomorrow I will cut the knot for you, the karmic knot. If you remove an idol from a person, how then a believer will worship? Whom will it worship? To Jesus Christ? No. There is no stupa. There is no anything. how does our religious sectarian school, Kailas, how can it explain whom should we worship? Do we need to do it? The explanation goes like this. We need to make an image, a big image that looks like a drop, an image of a drop, or a huge golden mirror which reflects on all sides. And from each person, the person who will be near it will see in their own reflection but golden. So basically this will explain to a person that he is the energy being, and he will always remember that that energy being is the element of gold in the person. Clear? Yes. So this will be the element of worship. So basically to yourself, to your reflection, to your true golden pure reflection. So how to do it? So a person, so basically students buy gold. I bought a gold, but you need a lot. When the school will grow bigger, it would be nice for students of the school to invest more money. Most likely we will make this place of worship when a person will be able to see their reflections in the gold light. So this reflection is not, what is it? So this will be an image of a golden image of a person, so that person could pray to the gold which exists in the middle of himself. Imagine that. This is an amazing perception of the new world. Amazing perception when a new religion or a new energy is being created, when a person can understand that the golden people and this gold reflection in persons can be the so-called sincere manifestation of a pure godly mind. When a lot of people unite with such energy, their light remove all the evil, all the bad things. Thus, people and society will 100% be changed. If we have enough time, then within several days before Monday, now the book is ready. I've edited it today. We will try to place an image in this book. This book is called the diary book, and we will upload it in our website so that it was not possible to download it, but it would be possible to look through it. You can buy access. It will be cheap, so that in the future it will be possible to read it and so on and so forth. So some simple elements. Downloading it will not be available because until the book is published, it won't be possible to download it. So Logos Desi and the diary books will not be available for download until they're published. So basically this is it. Today I will make a reading, of course. Do we have time? I also want to upload the book about Tibet. It's fully written. I just need to correct mistakes and edit it. This is the most difficult. Writing a book is not a difficult thing, but amending it, correcting mistakes is very difficult. So, point 26. Consciousness is light. It cannot be vague. There are facts, there are proofs. There is a hint on sound mind, and consciousness understand everything. And for consciousness, the biggest hindrance is feelings. So the combat of feelings and consciousness is the biggest problem of human beings. In the future, I will read out these diaries and I will explain each point. So this can be seen as ideas that are just starting to move on the spiritual way in our school. I believe that we can have breathing events and explanation events as well. Imagine, when you get angry, try not to feel. Try not to pay any attention to the feelings. Try to pay more attention to your thoughts. You will see that the control of feelings and suppressing them with consciousness is a very beneficial and a nice way of working on yourself. Our psychic diseases is emotions got out of control. Raise your consciousness, learn how to rule your feelings with your consciousness. Belief educates consciousness, consciousness educates feelings, feelings educate body. Make your body immovable. This will calm your feelings. It will calm your feelings, calm your consciousness, and when you calm your consciousness down, you will fall asleep. So basically, you need to reread it several times in order to understand what I wrote here, but it is very interesting. The body receives some sort of pleasure from memories. Consciousness receives illusory satisfaction from illusions. Feelings receive illusory enjoyment from something else. Feelings make a person true person, and feelings can destroy a person. Feelings is a fire, and as you know, uncontrolled fire is the biggest force of transformation. You must not be afraid of fire in the hands of a wise guy, and it creates like a huge fire in the hands of a fool. So do you understand what it's like? A foolish person can create a flame that will engulf everyone, both himself and the ones around them. This is why I do not allow everyone to teach in Kailas. I want these people to be able to feel. Sometimes I feel people that are censured. Feelings are good. Feeling means human being, but if you have too many feelings, where is your hyper mind? If you learn how to feel, where is your mind? Who will guide all of this? You have huge feelings, have a great mind. If you don't have the mind, then you don't need the hyper mind. But people have hyper feelings and not hyper mind. You know what? I remember what I saw about fire in the hands of a foolish person. And because of this, this world is riddled by fires. So how do people must learn? People must learn how to raise consciousness. Then they will be able to control their feelings. You know, it's impossible to why I mentioned all the people that I mentioned, this religious guy, I mentioned him because basically he is lacking the state of the mind. He needs a little bit of additional information, you know? He needs additional information because he has feelings, but he does not have the mind to control these feelings. If you cannot control feelings, you become a very heavy person. And if the mind controls feelings, then this is the person. So you must have this in order to feel compassionate. Here a balance is important. Both the feelings and the mind must fulfill each other. Everything must be present. So when my students come, I tell him all that he should know. Well, if I see that a person is offended by what I'm saying, then of course the person must work more. And why did we work with that? Remember, I told you, just open a book and look through it. Just look at it. What happens? Thus, you fill your consciousness that will later have a power to control feelings. Do not trust your heart, as wise men tell you. It's very easy to lie to your heart. Believe only to your mind. Believe to advice to your people that do not have feelings. God likes families a lot. Well said. Rest well and live well. I believe it is important to be a patriot for your own family. In order to remove suffering, you must know how to control your feelings. Mind controls feelings. God punishes people only for one thing, for people not to live their lives. And who lives them instead of them? Their anger, their worries, their wishes, and so on and so forth. If you're feeling unwell, start telling the truth. It will help you in your life. Wisdom like silence. Attain wisdom. And this is the end of module 1 for today. Thank you.